Hey y'all, welcome to the Crafty Cove. If you like farmhouse decor on a Dollar Tree budget, you are definitely in the right place. If you haven't already subscribed, I would love if you would consider doing so. And if you're already subscribed, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Today I'm part of the Let's Be Creative challenge here on YouTube. We're going to talk about that in just a little while. But y'all, we've hit 5,000 subscribers, so there will be a giveaway coming very, very soon on this channel. But for today, we're going to get right into DIY number 1. For this DIY, I'm using one of the stuffed gnomes from the Dollar Tree. This one is an Easter one, so he has the little bunny ears on there. That's not a big deal. We're going to take those right off. And to do that, we're just going to use our heat gun to get some of that glue off, pull it off, and then they just basically pull right out of this hat on the gnome. It does leave a couple little slits in there, but don't worry about that. We're covering up this hat anyway, so you will never even know that's there. Next, I'm going to push up my beard and my little hands, and we are going to take some ink Waverly chalk paint and a stencil brush, and we are just going to start dabbing all over this gnome. The entire body of the gnome gets this ink chalk paint dabbed all over it, all around it, on the bottom, everywhere, except for the hands and the feet. We're going to do those a different color. So here I am doing the front of the gnome, and then now I'm going to flip it over and we'll do the back. But again, this entire body gets this. Now, after we've got the body finished, we're going to take some maize Waverly chalk paint, and we are going to start doing the hands and the feet. For this, I used a regular brush because this is just felt with no stuffing in it. And I just go ahead and do about 3 or 4 coats here on the feet and also on the arms. I do the tops and the bottoms of the feet and the tops and the bottoms of the arms. I absolutely love how this little bumblebee gnome turns out, y'all. I really didn't know if I was going to be able to make it work, but I did. So now I'm taking my heat gun and I'm just running it along the seam of that hat on the front there. And what that'll do is, I did paint my nose with the maize also. Sorry, y'all. What it'll do is it allows that top part of that hat to come off a little bit so I can work with it better. I did not take the hat completely off, just loosened up that front part of the hat. Now I'm taking this little skirt that I got in the toy section from the Dollar Tree, looking like a bumblebee, and we are going to glue it right to the edge of the front of that hat. Then we're going to cut it down. I just kind of eyeballed it and decided about what size I was going to need. Excuse me. And we go ahead and cut to the size we need. After that, we're going to lay our little gnome face down and on our table, and we're going to start wrapping our little hat in our skirt here. And all I'm doing is a little bit of hot glue and just wrapping it completely around our gnome's hat. I just love how this turned out. I think it's so stinking cute. After that, and there we are just doing our seam. After we get that finished, we're going to take a piece of white nautical rope. I'm going to untwist it and use just one strand and go around the edge of the hat there, just because, you know, you saw a lot of imperfections there, so this just kind of cleans it up a little bit. Y'all know I'm a messy crafter. I do clean him up very well. But right now, he's a mess. Next, I'm taking this windmill, and I'm going to use this for 2 different DIYs on this video. And it's got the bumblebee look to it. So I'm just taking it. I'm cutting 2 of the little prongs off. We're going to put some hot glue on there, and we are going to glue that right to the back of our gnome for our little wings. Now I'm taking one of these little bees that I got from Hobby Lobby, sticking it right in his beard. And then I'm going to take some black and white baker's twine, wrap it around my fingers 5 or 6 times, scrunch it up in the middle, and tie it in the middle with another piece of baker's twine. And we're going to glue that right to the top of our little gnome hat. And that is it. How stinking cute. Okay, so this month we are doing a challenge. This is the monthly challenge that I help to host with 6 Kids and a Glue Gun, Amanda, and we now have a permanent host along with us. That is Emily from Farm Charm Chic. We do a different theme every single month. This month it is bees, and I'm so excited about this. Of course, we always pick a spotlight crafter every single month after we watch the videos, and this month we chose Kiki's DIYs. Kiki, they're awesome. All three of these ladies are amazing crafters. I love what each and every one of them do. I love to watch their videos. If you have not checked these three ladies out, please be sure to click on their links in my description box and go check out their channels. Also, don't forget there will be a playlist for this challenge, and oh, the crafters in this, you'll be blown away, I promise. So now we're going on right on to DIY number 2. This is a super simple one. I'm just taking one of these little lanterns from the Dollar Tree. I'm taking one sunflower off of a floral pick from the Dollar Tree. I'm kind of wrapping it around the lantern here, and I'm gluing it on the back. Then in the opposite direction, I'll take another one and do the exact same thing. I just cut off that stem to where I need it and glue those down right there. Then I take another of the sunflowers, cut it completely down, cut the stem completely off, and glue that right in the middle of the other two. Next, I'm going to wrap my black and white baker's twine around my fingers and tie it off in the middle to make a little bow. Again, y'all, this is super simple. Some might think that the sunflowers are a little too big for this lantern, but I love how it turned out. I think it's just super cute. So then we're going to cut off our tails to the size that we want, glue our little bow right there in the center, and then glue one of our little bumblebees to the bow, and that's it. And now here we go to DIY number 3. So for this, I'm taking 1 pack of the clothespins from the Dollar Tree, and in that pack there are 36. So I'm separating them into 3 piles of 12. I'm going to use 3 different paints, a white, maize, and ink chalk paints. And what we're going to do is we're going to start painting our clothespins. 12 of them we paint the maize. All over these clothespins, every single nook and cranny on these clothespins get painted. And again, I'm painting 12 of the maize. I'm not going to make y'all go through and watch this because it's very tedious. And that's the only tedious part of this project, honestly, is the painting of the clothespins. If you could spray paint them, that'd be great. So after we get the 12 maize done, now we're doing the 12 ink. And again, every little piece of these little clothespins, I do them in sections so that they can dry as I'm doing them. You can see there. And then we're going to do 12 in the white chalk paint. Now, after we've got all of these done and dry, we've got 12 gold, 12 black, and 12 white. Now, I'm taking a little toothpick, the end of a toothpick, and I'm going to start putting white polka dots on all of my black clothespins. No rhyme or reason, as many or as little as you want. Y'all, I'm in love with polka dots this year. I just love the look of them. After we get those finished, we're going to take the white clothespins and we're going to use the maize and the ink and put polka dots on these. Again, as many or as little as you like. This is your project. Make it your own. And just be creative and put whatever you... And you don't even have to do polka dots. But like I said, I'm into polka dots this year. Then I'm going to take one of the small wire wreaths from the Dollar Tree. These have 3 sections on them. I'm going to end up using about 12 clothespins for each section, and I go black, maize, and white. Now, for this first one, I'm going to put a little dab of hot glue on the middle and bottom rung, and we are going to glue our clothespin to that. And this one is going to kind of be sticking up. You can see right there that the first one will be sticking up. The next one, we are actually going to put the hot glue in the little rungs of the clothespins. And on this one, we are going to do the same thing, second and last rung, but we're going to put those rungs in the little carved out spaces in the clothespins. I hope that makes sense. It's easier for you to see what I'm doing by watching than for me to try to explain it. Then we're doing another of the hot glue on the rungs because we're doing our tall piece. So we're going tall, short, all the way around this wreath. Now, I could have done with a whole lot more clothespins, but I only bought one pack thinking that would be sufficient for these small wreath forms. But I wish now I would have bought another pack just so I would have had a little bit more coverage. It's okay for me. I actually love how it turned out. But if you do not want to see any of the wire wreath form in your wreath, you are definitely going to need at least 1.5, possibly 2 packs of clothespins. And again, we're doing around 12 on each of the rungs. Just space them out however you want. Like I said, you know, I wish that I would have had more to do to get these a little closer together and not have the space. But again, it really doesn't bother me. I still think it turns out amazing. So now we're going to take one of these gold Easter eggs from the Dollar Tree. And I have cut off the bottom portion, leaving the, I guess you'd say, tip of the egg. And what I'm going to do is take some nautical rope, untwist it, and use just one string of the nautical rope. We're going to make a little beehive, beescape, whatever you call them. And what I'm going to do is just take that egg, put some hot glue on it, and we are going to wrap our nautical rope all the way around this and all the way up. Now, y'all use your finger protectors. They are annoying sometimes to me, and I feel like they get in the way, but oh, did they save me some burns today. So, wrap all the way up. Then you see my lighter there because I was getting off all the fuzzies. Then I make just a little loop to put with the nautical rope to put on top of my little, I'm going to call this a beehive. I take some ink, chalk paint, and I make a little hole, like what would look like the opening of the beehive. Run some hot glue around that and put some twine down on that. Then again, y'all use your finger protectors. It'll save you a lot of heartache. You see, I took mine off because it did get in my way, but I was near the end. So after we get that finished, we're going to make a simple little bow. I just make a little loop in the middle and then fold the ribbon pretty much over on itself 4 or 5 times on each side. Cut it off for my tails. I take a piece of jute through the middle of the bow, tie it off in the back. And then what I do is I always make my tail long, and then I take it and kind of scrunch it up, put a little bit of hot glue, and go ahead and tie that off also with this bow. And then after I get it tied off, I just cut my tails in the middle and dovetail those. This is just something it just makes it easier for me to do it this way. After that, we're going to take one of our little bees from the Hobby Lobby. Again, we are going to glue it to our little beehive. Sorry, y'all, I lost my train of thought. Now we are going to put a little bit of hot glue in the center of our egg and just place it on 2 of those clothespins and then glue our bow on, and that is it. Okay, and here we are to our final DIY number 4. Favorite of all the DIYs. So I bought this banner from Michael's, and I think I got it on clearance for like $2. It comes with 10 of these banner pieces and some jute. And I'm going to end up using 3 of these banner pieces. And I have cut out some decals on my Cricut. On one of them, I'm going to put let. On the other, I will put it. And on the third, I will put B. Now, I'm showing you this because if you are new to Cricut, just take your time. When it comes to putting these things on projects, just take your time. If you get it down and you pull your transfer tape away and you see that it is not sticking, place it back down and rub on it a little more. Sometimes you have to be a little aggressive with this, excuse me, to get these things to stick. So I just kind of wanted to show you, you know, it's not hard, but it's not the easiest thing in the world either, unless you're going to have patience. And y'all, I do not have patience. So the Cricut frustrates me so bad. It's not the Cricut, it's the operator, which is me. And it's not really even the Cricut, it's the transfers here. Like, I have such trouble sometimes, but I've learned to be patient and just take my time. and then it all works out. So on the one that says B, I did go ahead and cut out a little B shape, and I'm going to put it right on, I debated on the top or the bottom, but I like it on the top. Put it right on the top there, and you can see here, this is where I get a little frustrated because this B is very intricate and tiny, and it takes a little bit of work, but once it's done, it's beautiful. Then I go ahead and take my twine, and I am weeding it through my banner pieces, and then I'm going to space them out the way that I want. Then I'm going to take 2 of the Dollar Tree sunflowers that I've cut down, cut the stems completely off, and I am going to glue these in the spaces between the Let It and the one between it and B. I just put a dab of hot glue, a lot of hot glue on my sunflower, put my string on there, more hot glue, and then a little bit of masking tape. And this has worked out perfectly. I do the same exact thing to the other one. This has not wanted to go anywhere, so it turned out really well. Next, I am going to place 2 honeybees in the middle of my sunflowers. I did go ahead and take more pieces of the little bee windmill that I made, or that I saw at the Dollar Tree, and made little wings, and I'm going to glue those on the back of this also. And that's it. There's our project. Let me know in the comments which is your favorite. And now here we are with our final reveal. Thank you all so much for joining me today. Don't forget to check out Emily, Amanda, and Kiki in the description box below, and also the playlist for this challenge. I hope you all enjoyed today as much as I did. I appreciate each and every one of you more than you will ever know. Thanks for watching. Y'all come back now. You hear?